Hey everyone. Welcome to Friday Night Live at 4:05. I'm Tori Humphreys, a creative life coach, a professional life coach here to help creatives move from abstract ideas to concrete realities. So today our focus is on finding the fun as a mom. So I am a mom of two phenomenal boys, aged 4 and 1. And they really keep my life very busy, but also fun. So this is particularly for moms who may not think that they're creative, but I want to encourage you to understand that creativity doesn't have to look like how we expect. Maybe you're thinking, hey, I'm a mom, but I really don't think of myself as creative because, I don't do crafts for my kids, or I don't like singing or whatever, those types of things. But creativity comes when we basically do things in a different light, when we're making things new. So as a mom, we still have creativity etched inside of us. And I believe that when we do start to see things in a different light, that this is the foundation of creativity. As moms, we can lose sight of why we're doing what we're doing, and we fear that if we're not doing all of the things for our kids, that they'll suffer and we'll be the ones to blame for. But don't get me wrong, there are a lot of things that kids need and to be healthy and to do well. But if we feel like we're riding on the backs of our rigid schedules, unable to find ourselves, maybe it's time for us to do some reevaluating. And having a fresh perspective can invite the joy back into our routines. Or we can shift those routines, whatever. So one of the biggest wake-up calls for me happened during my coaching program. I did IPEC, which is, I'm biased, I think it's the best coaching program that's out there. But I thought to myself, I wasn't having a lot of fun. We did an exercise that showed us how satisfied we were in the area of fun and creativity. And for me, that was the lowest area. And I thought to myself, I'm a fun person. I've always been a pretty fun person. But it caught me off guard. And I found that I wasn't really adding the fun and creativity in my life. And I thought that as a mom, you couldn't fit both in. You couldn't fit fun and creativity and also be a mom. But I'm here to tell you that that's not true. So when I thought about the monotony of doing the same things over and over again, which we tend to do as moms, I personally fell privy to the belief that fun wasn't in the job description. I looked around at other moms and felt like I needed to do the same things that they were doing. And I tried juggling the many tasks they say that your kids will need to do, and I found myself feeling extremely stuck. So I created these routines for my kids, or at least attempted to. And when I didn't actually follow through, or even when I did, I still felt unsatisfied and I felt overwhelmed, or I felt bored, but I felt like I didn't have any other choice. Like these are the only two options. But my program showed me that I didn't need to do the things that I was supposed to do based upon, what other people were expecting me to do as a mom. And I didn't want to do half of it. And I started to learn that I don't have to feel guilty for the things that other people are expecting me to do. So, I wasn't satisfied with where I was because I wasn't actively choosing the things that I wanted to do, like with my kids and everything. And so the big thing for me was a shift in taking everything super seriously to enjoying life and finding delight in the little things. So I'm so excited to tell you this super funny story the other day. My 1-year-old Jordan, who I love so much, he had a poopy diaper and we were down to one wipe. So I told myself, challenge accepted. I literally treated this like a video game. Like if it was a hard level that I had to do where the poop was the enemy, okay? And I was like, okay, I've got one wipe. Challenge accepted. So, expert mom loading. I open my son's diaper. It is a doozy. Not quite solid, not quite liquid, and his whole bottom is a disgusting mess. Mind you, I only have one wipe, but I'm thinking to myself, I could still do this. And I remembered in that moment that we did have some more wipes in our room. But at this point, he's already laid out on the table. His diaper's open and exposed. I have no way of getting to those other wipes. So even though we did have other wipes in the other room, it was already too late at this point. So I reach for the one wipe. At the same time I'm reaching, Jordan is reaching for the poopy diaper and he pulls it. And I'm contemplating whether or not I try to reach for the diaper or the wipe. The diaper or the wipe. I reach for the diaper, but at that point, it was already too late. He had a handful of poop in his hand, and the diaper was on the floor. He looked at his hand and started freaking out. I looked at his hand and started freaking out. All I could do was yell was gross. I was like, it was so disgusting. And he began to fling the poop that was on his hand onto the floor. Now, at this point, I have to make a choice. Do I use the wipe for his hand or his bottom? His hand or his bottom? I'm like, okay. So I decide to go for his bottom. I wipe his bottom as fast as I can, hoping that the situation doesn't get worse. I try to clean everything up. I'm using this wipe like I've never used a wipe before. I'm literally trying to make an origami masterpiece out of this one wipe that I had. I used every square inch of it. And afterwards, surprisingly, his bottom actually seemed pretty clean. And so then I run to the bathroom. I rinse his hands, wash his hands. And because I also noticed that he's gotten it on his face at this point, because while I was cleaning his bottom, he got poop all on his face. So I run him to the bathroom, wash his hands, wash his face. Still haven't put the diaper on. And then I run back and hurry and put the diaper on. And I'm like, phew, okay. I managed to get his diaper changed with this one wipe. His hands are clean. His face is clean. And I think I'm done. But then there's one thing I forgot. I forgot about the poop that he flung. It is now, I hear EJ, my older son who's 4, saying that he stepped in something. I'm like, oh my goodness. The one spot that he flung it in was the same area that EJ had stepped in. And so then I'm rushing him now to the bathroom, and this time the bathtub, because I'm like, okay, we got to clean your feet off. I clean him up, run back. We clean the area where it was on the floor, throw everything away. And normally, in all honesty, a situation like this would get me really frustrated. I would get upset that I didn't remember to get wipes beforehand. I would be frustrated that, there was poop on the carpet and all this sort of things. But the mindset that I had totally shifted, and I was more focused on kind of making it fun, like a level in a video game. And also thinking about sharing it with other people and how fun it could be to hear other people's stories that they might have as well as I'm telling this. So all that to say is that, I think the mindset that you have towards doing routine tasks can change if you have a different perspective on it. Another thing that I do that's silly, sometimes when I don't want to wash the dishes, I think about how I own a 5-star restaurant and we have a shortage of people. And so in order to clean up after people, I'm like, okay, I pretend there's people there. I know it sounds super silly, but this is my creativity that I have for myself. I pretend that it's a 5-star restaurant and I'm helping to clean up and thinking that I'm getting paid for it because it changes my attitude and my perspective for it. But anyway, so all that to say is just like, I would encourage you guys just to think of how you can add a little bit more creativity and fun into your life simply by shifting your perspective as a mom. And there are so many things that we do on a daily basis that can be mundane and get old, but like just shifting your perspective and thinking like, hey, maybe, if I remember why I'm doing this and think of how I can make it more fun by changing my perspective, it could make a huge difference. So, and also remind yourself that you're doing an awesome freaking job. Okay? I know you don't hear that a lot, but you're doing amazing. And you can laugh at life's unexpected twists and turns and know that you're not alone. I think that me knowing that I wasn't alone allowed me to have more joy and more fun in my day, because as I'm doing this, as you're doing this, as a mom, you're not the only one. And thinking about other people who are doing the same thing that you're doing might be more inspirational for you as well. So, P.S., if you had an experience like mine, one, I'd love to hear about it. So feel free to drop your experiences in the comment section. And two, also consider adding Poop Manager to your resume, because it's serious. And just one note, in all seriousness, this conversation is not meant to undermine or put more pressure on those who are struggling with anxiety, depression, and the like. And so if you find yourself having difficulty with basic functioning like eating, sleeping, getting out of bed, etc., consider finding a therapist and a doctor to help you as you're going through the difficulties of just managing the simplest things of the day. So, and also, if you have thoughts of harming yourself or others, call or text 988. It's a suicide and the crisis lifeline. So, yeah, so that's all that I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching Friday Night Live at 4:05. If you're ready to just create a little bit more, add some creativity into your life, and you want to step into that reality, feel free to reach out to me by messaging or emailing me, and we can create a plan together. We can chat and see how we can do that. So remember, your worth isn't measured by likes, comments, or Zelle payments. Your value is immeasurable regardless of what lies ahead of you. You guys have an incredible Friday. See ya.